30 years. But where'd the money go? So it's not the other countries steal jobs from you guys. It is your strategy.
Okay,
but you do not distribute the money and things in a proper way. How can you imagine the first largest economy of the world, second largest economy of the world, have a trade war? It's going to be a disaster for two countries and for the world.
So Jack Ma's claim is hyperbolic, but essentially correct. Just hyper-focused on outliers.
But something that we did not discuss about the American, the job losing to China, Mexico, and this. Can I share with you my ideas?
Please.
Yeah. First, I think 30 years ago, when I just graduated from universities, I heard America had a wonderful strategy. They outsource the manufacturing job, service jobs. They outsource the manufacturer to Mexico and China, outsource the service job to India. There's a book called The World is Flat.
Tom Friedman, colleague at the New York Times.
And I think it's a perfect strategy. You know, that the Americans said, we just want to control the IP, we just want technology, we just want the brand, and leave the lower end jobs for the world. Great strategy. And second is that the American international companies made millions and millions of dollars from globalization. The top 100 companies in America. Amazing. I remember when I graduated from university, I tried to buy a beeper, the Motorola beeper. Cost me $250. My pay at that time is $10 a month as a teacher. And the cost of making that beeper is only $8 for a chip. So, past 30 years, IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, they made tons of money. The profit they made are much more than the 4 largest banks in China put together. The China Mobile Phone, China Unicom, and whatever you name it, put together. Still, these multinational companies made more money than. So, their market cap grew more than 100 times in the past 30 years. But where'd the money go? This is what I'm curious, because as a business people, I always care about the balance sheet. Where the money coming, where the money go. Past 30 years, the American had 13 wars, spending $14.2 trillion. The money going there. What if they spend a part of that money on building up the infrastructure, helping the white collars and the blue collars? No matter how strategy good it is, you're supposed to spend money on your own people, right? Not everybody can pass Harvard. Like me, they're not good at education, right? We should spend money on those people who are not good at schooling. And the other money, which I'm curious about, is that when I was young, I heard America is about Ford and Boeing, those big manufacturing companies. The last 10, 20 years, I heard about is Silicon Valley and Wall Street. The money go to the Wall Street. And what happened? Year 2008. The financial crisis wiped out $19.2 trillion USA alone. They wiped out all the white collars and destroyed 34 million jobs globally. So what if the money is not Wall Street? What if the money spent on the middle west of the United States? Developing the industry there, that could be changed a lot. So it's not the other countries steal jobs from you guys. It is your strategy.
Okay,
but you do not distribute the money and things in a proper way. I think China and the U.S. should never have a trade war. We'll never have a trade war. And I think we should give President-elect Donald Trump some time. And he's open-minded. He's listening. And I think the war, it's so easy to launch a war. But it's so difficult, almost impossible sometimes to terminate a war. Iraq war, Afghanistan war, is that finished? No. Trade war. I believe one thing. When trade stops, the world starts. Trade is something that people start to communicate. Trade is something people exchange culture and value. And I will be happy if China and USA agree on something and Alibaba business model destroyed. I would destroy Alibaba model. How can you imagine the first largest economy of the world, second largest economy of the world, have a trade war. It's going to be a disaster for two countries and for the world. If anybody can do something to stop it, do anything to stop it.
Earlier in this video, Jack Ma mentioned a book, The World is Flat by Thomas Friedman. Why did he bring it up? Because it helps explain why so many American jobs were outsourced over the past 30 years. In the book, published in 2005, Friedman observed that the world had become flat. Not physically, of course, but economically. Thanks to the internet and new technologies, it became easier than ever for companies to operate across borders. To him, this was an opportunity for America to focus on education, innovation, and higher value industries. At a 2009 conference at Yale, Thomas Friedman made a bold prediction. In a globalized world, there would be no such thing as an American job anymore.
There's one entitlement we do really need to get rid of, and that is our sense of entitlement. Because in a flat world, there ain't no such thing as an American job. There's just no such thing. But the good news is no such thing as an Indian job or a Mexican job either. I mean, you know, it's going to be there, but you're going to have to globalize yourself. You're going to have to think of yourself as competing against and with a much wider workforce. We're now blending in. The world's gone flat, and we're now meeting up with two cultures in particular, Chinese and Indian culture, that have a huge value on education. As I've said ad nauseum, you know, when I was growing up, my parents used to say to me, Tom, finish your dinner, people in China and India are starving. And I say to my girls, finish your homework, people in China and India are starving for your jobs.
This was back in 2009. Looking at where things stand today, I believe technology has become a direct and major driver of job losses, especially in manufacturing, not just in the US, but across all developed countries. A car manufacturing plant in 2025 has very little in common with one from 30 years ago. Automation has completely transformed the landscape. And what started decades ago in the US is now happening in China, where reports show that workers are being replaced by robots at a staggering speed. Here's an interview clip from former US Senator Patrick J. Toomey, which I find strikingly accurate in explaining the real trauma behind America's current job losses.
There's a sort of widely dispersed view that we've had some terrible catastrophic manufacturing decline in the United States, and that's one of the big problems that has to be dealt with. So it's interesting to remember that the all-time peak year in manufacturing output in the United States of America was 2018. 2019 was almost identical. We had, of course, a decline after COVID, and then it has since come back to almost eclipse 2018, although it hasn't quite eclipsed it yet. What has happened, of course, is a dramatic decline in the percentage of the workforce that works in manufacturing, which is driven to a very large degree by technology and automation. It's the exact same thing that happened in agriculture 100 years ago. What percentage of Americans worked on farms? Maybe half, nearly. Today it's about 2%, and yet we produce more agricultural product than ever, by far. So I think that context is sometimes missing.
Jack Ma's claim is dramatic, but does the data back him up? Let's break it down. Clearly, exceptional cases did achieve Jack Ma's 100x plus growth, growing over 1,000 times for some tech giants like Amazon and Nvidia. Apple and Microsoft weren't far behind, but most, not even close. The average S&P 500 company grew about 47 times, not 100x. Looking at profits, we found that aggregate profits for the S&P 500 soared from $200 billion in 1994 to over $3.3 trillion in 2024, a roughly 16 times jump. So Jack Ma's claim is hyperbolic, but essentially correct, just hyper-focused on outliers. Globalization and technological disruption did indeed fuel huge profits for corporate America, especially for big tech and pharmaceutical companies. The $14 trillion over 30 years claim is a projection, not official government data. Its primary source is a 2021 Costs of War report from Brown University, which estimates U.S. post-9/11 war spending, 2001 through 2022, including indirect costs and extrapolated figures from 1990s conflicts. Identifying all 13 wars he referenced is nearly impossible. The U.S. engages in numerous covert and unconventional operations, making a definitive list inaccessible to outsiders. Looking at federal budget, while U.S. defense spending approximately 13% of the budget, far exceeds education and infrastructure approximately 1 to 2% each. Nearly half of federal spending goes to welfare programs. Jack Ma's criticism has merit but overlooks these substantial social investments. This interview with Jack Ma dates back 8 years, yet it still hits at the heart of a deep and painful reality for Americans: job losses, and the lingering sense that public money has been wasted. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.